welcome to Super Summer Series TV. It's been a while between drinks for the Super Summer Series TV this season, but up to episode 3 with 2 rounds to go. We're going to break it down tonight. We're going to have a look at the standings and do a little bit of analysis. We'll be joined by Ben from Berkeley Golf, who's going to have a look at the teams, what games they've got to play, where they sit in the ladder, who's finals bound and who's not. Let's just start by having a quick look at the ladder, noting that Specialist Fielders and the Golf Gods have the only teams to actually finish the round. So one of them is going to get another win and sit on 24 points. But St Albans Old Boys on top. We've still got a bye to go, so we're sitting there. Specialist Fielders of Gods, Water Cannons in 4th. Then we've got the Fuggies, Live Golf, Goodfellas, Clutch & Co, Spazball, the reigning Premier, sitting down at 9th with no chance of playing finals. Berkeley Boys, finals last year at 10th, and Blue Gorillas, unfortunately, in all too familiar territory. We'll post this ladder on the WhatsApp group once we get that final game done for round 9 with 2 rounds to play. We're going to call in Ben from Berkeley Golf and have a look at the teams, see where they're sitting, see their remaining games and break it down to see who's going to be playing finals and who the favourite might be. Ben, welcome to Super Summer Series TV.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to start with your boys, the Berkeley Boys this year. A little bit disappointing. Played finals last year, played in the semi. You got a handicap of 2.5, you're at 10th, just the 2 wins this season. Then you've got the Fuggies and the Specialist Fielders to go. The best you can hope for is perhaps have a say on where some of those teams may finish.
Yeah, look, hasn't been our most ideal season. Been a bit sporadic for us. Probably haven't hit our form and hit our straps either. I saw we had the 3rd most pars in the competition, however, we're in the bottom 3 for birdies. So it's probably that conversion shooting under the card that's let us down this season. 2 more we can still get 2 more wins, have a little bit of a say, climb up the ladder a little bit, and that'll probably be us for this season.
The Blue Gorillas, last on the ladder, back-to-back wooden spoons these guys are chasing. They won't like it at all, Matty and Jono. But a handicap of 2.75 for his team last on the ladder, so I think Jono has had a bit to say about the handicap this year and how that may have impacted on their ability to get a few wins and have a crack at the finals.
Yeah, look, handicapped out of it for mine. You can't be last on the ladder with 2.75. He's had some choice words. Can't repeat them on this show. We'll keep it PG. But yeah, he had some choice words for the handicap. I think there was one game he thought he probably should have gone out to give a bit of a reprieve, and the opposite notion happened through the handicap. I think he came in by a shot. So probably an argument though, in fairness, for the handicapper, averaging under par really at 34.5. But yeah, I think they've been a little bit hardly done by on the handicap.
Not going to get any easier for them with the Golf Gods coming up this week, sitting 2nd on the ladder and the best performed team in the competition. So not going to make too much movement upwards this week, one would think. Let's have a look at Clutch & Co. 4 wins in a row, coming home with a wet sail. Noting that they haven't played a game, their round 2 or 3 game against Golf Gods has officially been a bad, and they haven't got that one away. So had they got that, they might be on 5 wins and having a crack at it, but they're 8th. Got the Specialist Fielders this week. They knocked them off last year. There could be a shot a hole on it depending on the handicap land, so they could be chasing another back-to-back wins against Specialist Fielders.
Dark horse of the competition for me, and can make an appearance into the top 4 and in the finals. I think they've got their head screwed on this year. We know last year they had a famous victory against Specialist Fielders. It was scheduled on a Friday night due to availabilities, and they were partied at seen partying at the Taylors Lakes Hotel until 4 a.m. So this year, I think they've got their head screwed on. There's not much party boy action. That could be because Billy is tied down and locked in with his missus. Yeah, definitely got their head screwed on and can make a charge towards the finals. Let's
have a look at the Goodfellas. Started the season with a handicap of 9. Teams weren't happy with where they started, and the teams that played against them early suffered a loss. They're 7th now. Their handicaps come in. All of a sudden, they're not winning as many games. 4 wins, 4 losses. Pressure starting to show with this team. The MRO, Mickey Snedden had a bit of an incident there on course, had a bit of a meltdown on course last game. His partner gave him nothing off the tee, nothing off the fairway. That balled over, and all of a sudden, Pete Venables isn't available this week, and Alex Coronis has been brought in off the bench. A WhatsApp message this week, if it plays this week, Pete Venables could be playing. No certainty there, so I'm not sure how this team's positioned at the moment. This, yin-yang sort of love bubble, I think's burst.
Well, yeah, I'm not too sure if it's more about unavailability or if it's more about a selection squeeze from Mick, who is, I think, taken over as a captaincy there. He's taken charge. I think there's a bit of a leadership dispute as well. And certainly, having played Alex, he does offer a lot off the tee. He's had some private coaching, and he does hit off the tee quite well with that driver with the left-hand option as well. I think it's more about selection squeeze than it is about unavailability.
Spaz Ball and Water Cannons, they're two teams to finish off the round, so some competitive teams they've got to play. We'll see how the good fellas finish up, but not seeing them play finals. The Golf Gods, well, have a look at this. They've got the best average at 33 of all their games. They've got 5 wins, 2 losses. Again, they could very easily be 6 wins had they played against Clutch & Co. 37 pars, 22 birdies, outstanding golf. Pencil this one in with the Blue Gorillas. I can't see the Blue Gorillas no matter what the handicap difference is. 4+. So all of a sudden they've come in from 2 down to +4, and they've got the bye the last round. So really they've got to win against the specialist fielders that they're playing this week, and the Blue Gorillas, and they'll be finals bound.
Yeah, so obviously a very comfortable bye for them if they do get the next 2 victories and lock in finals. They don't have to rely on any other results to fall their way. They're the class team of the competition. If you watch them play, they're a step above everyone else. The 4+ handicaps where they're at probably should have started there if the handicapper had an idea at the start of the year, but 4+ is probably where they're at.
Live Golf, 0.75 coming in. BJ's hitting some form. 4 wins, 4 losses. Again, the average. Look at everyone's average. It's the handicapper off field Ben is doing a pretty good job. Everyone's playing around that par golf. Perhaps they should be pitting themselves a little bit more at a 34. They've got the Water Cannons this week. That is a big game. The Water Cannons v Live Golf, a big game to see who could just get that extra win and push for that top 4. And then they've got the Fuggies, and you think they'd get the better of the Fuggies at the moment. Not quite getting the victories now that the handicaps come in. But I think BJ's doing a lot of the heavy lifting there, working around Mark's availability. So where do you see Live Golf finishing?
Yeah, I think they're definitely a chance for finals. I think they might squeeze into that 4th spot. Certainly with the win over the Water Cannons, they'll probably overtake them as well and jump into that 4th spot. I think they'll get the chocolates over the Water Cannons as well. So I do think they'll squeeze into that top 4, and they're in the finals hunt for me.
Spaz Ball, well, this is probably the disappointment of the season. The reigning premier. Handicap of 1.25, so no luck from the handicapper there around where their handicap is as the reigning premier. Just the 2 wins. But have a look at the average, 35, 47 pars, not playing bad golf. They just haven't got the wins when they need. A bit like Greg Chappell, who's batting well, but kept making ducks. So they've got the good fellas this week, then the St Albans Old Boys who are first. Not going to make finals, but premiership hangover.
It's well and truly alive here, and I question the commitment levels. Bagger and Coggers, Captain Coggers, they were so available last year. They were so ready to play. They were available every Wednesday night. Now there's a few unavailabilities. There's a few niggles on Chris Coughlin. I just think the excuses are starting to come out. The dedication and commitment's not quite there from them this year. I think the fire in the belly's gone after last year's premiership. I think they got what they were after, and they think that's enough. I don't think they're hungry for more.
Certainly walks tall when the victories are coming, but goes into, just shrinks away a little bit when the losses start piling up, and that's exactly what they're doing with 6 losses at the moment. Let's have a look. Specialist fielders into plus 2.75, but again playing absolute outstanding golf. 5 wins, 2 losses, 32 putts, 21 birdies. They're just the specialist fielders and Golf Gods are blowing the other team away with the amount of birdies they're getting. Average of 34. Big game, big couple of games to finish off, because these 2 teams are well capable of knocking off the specialist fielders, particularly with a handicap difference.
Yeah, look, my question for the specialist fielders is it 3rd time the charm. They've lost the last 2 grand finals, been in every grand final the Super Summer Series has put on. Is it the 3rd time the charm for them? I think the competition certainly hopes not, but we will see how they go. They've got 2 tough matches coming up. Obviously got the Golf Gods as well this week, which is going to be a bit of a massive battle of the heavyweights. So we'll see how they finish up. I do think they will be there in the grand final again once more this year.
Righto, the St Albans Old Boys, my team, first on the ladder, 6 wins, 3 losses, average of 36, so playing par golf, 34 pars, handicap of 3.25. Got a bye this week, so no points to be gained at all for round 10. And then we got Spaz Ball in the last round. So it'll be interesting to see how we come up against the reigning premiers, who will be all but demoralised by that point in time. With the St Albans Old Boys should be flying high, trying to secure a top 4 finish.
Favourable draw to start with, I must say, by the Commissioner. and then secondly, have had some wins with the commissioner's injury to his thumb. So maybe a bit of a selection squeeze come finals time. Not too sure what the selection will be there. You might be in danger if fit. And Spazball, that's a big game to finish the season too. They will want to knock the St Albans old boys off their perch, and that'll be a big game to finish. So sitting nicely on top of the ladder, I think the teams will be hoping they certainly fall down that ladder.
The Fuggies, well, didn't they start with a very high handicap up around the 9 mark? And he's brought them back in, and as he's brought them back in, have a look at the average. That handicap just early on shows you how favourable that handicap was with an average of 33. That's where the golf gods are, but that's not where the Fuggies are in terms of golfing ability. So it shows the handicap at an impact. 4 wins, 4 losses, come back in the 5th. Berkeley boys and Live Golf to finish, and they're 2 tough games for this side. So I think it'll be a tough end of the season for these boys.
Yeah, look, I think the handicapper will be first to admit he got that wrong to start the season, and he's come down hard on them, and as a result, their losses have come trickling in with the Fuggies. I think they're hovering around that 4th spot. They need to win. Then, if they win the next 2 games, they will play finals, and they will do some damage. I think in the finals, if they get there, they can cause an upset. But it's going to be tough to make it with that draw to finish off the season.
The Water Cannons, the inaugural premiers, 4th on the ladder, so they've regained a bit this year, just going under the radar a bit. I think they're playing their handicap beautifully. There's a few strategic bogeys here and there that has been noted, and a bit of locker room chatter around that to keep that handicap up around that mark. 5 wins, 3 losses, get a win this week, sitting in the top 4 for mine, and that, playing around their handicap. Live Golf and the Goodfellas, 2 big games to finish off for these guys.
Yeah, the Water Cannons going under the radar, playing pretty beige golf by the look of it. Not too sure how they will go with Live Golf and the Goodfellas. 2 tough opponents to finish. I know Pete Delbridge and Wayne Winham will be pretty keen to rectify their disappointing season last year where they had a premiership hangover. So I think they will come out trying to make that finals. I think they slip out. I don't think they make the finals. I think there's other teams above them, like the Live Golfs of the world. I think they'll steal that 4th. I think the Fuggies might get in there as well over them, and potentially as well the Clutch and Co. So I think the Water Cannons will find themselves out of that 4th spot by the end of the round.
Righto. Well, good luck to all teams for the last 2 rounds. That wraps up the preview. I think we've got through them all. We're going to have a quick look at good shot, bad shot, Ben. Good shot, bad shot. The handicapper has finally got it right.
Bad shot. I still think he's rectifying some of the mistakes from the start of the year, like the Fuggies. I still think he's got some points and branding points to make up with Wayne Johnson from the Blue Gorillas. So bad shot for mine. I don't think he's got it quite right. Good shot, bad shot, Commissioner. St Albans old boys could go a Graham Tadero partnering for finals despite a fit McManus.
Bad shot, Ben, bad shot. The thumb, 1 more week to go. I'll miss the last round because I'll be overseas and still recovering, but I should be back for the finals. And, we'll see how we go. With Andrew Graham's filled in nicely, forgetting that we got early wins. We got 3 or 4 early wins with the McManus and Tadero partnership, and Andrew Graham has been a fantastic fill-in, as you want from your fill-in. But we'll see how we go. It could be a new way you move forward. We'll look at how the form is, and we'll make our decision closer to the end of the season. Good shot, bad shot. The premiership hangover is a real curse.
Good shot, really great call there. The premiership hangover is a real curse. We saw it happen to the Water Cannons after their premiership win in season 1 in the inaugural season of the Super Summer Series, and we're seeing it happening again with Spazball. They're completely falling apart, really. They're depleted, and the fire in the belly's not there. The hangover is real. They partied too hard from that win. And it's definitely a curse that overhangs the competition. Good shot, bad shot, Commissioner. The competition structure needs to have a rethink. Yeah,
good shot, that one. I think this season we've seen it's been hard to get up there to Melton. So teams, we haven't quite got that social connection. Part of the Super Summer Series appeal was to get a bunch of guys playing golf on a Wednesday night, all being together and having a meal afterwards. We've lost that this season. So we're going to push through. We understand people have different commitments, busy at work, and the traffic's been bad, but we do want to bring it back. We do want to bring it back next season to say where we're playing on a set night, and we might have to have more, a team of 3 or 4 and the team's fixtured, and whoever's available can fit in and play. We might be a couple of mergers. Maybe we can't fit 11 teams into the competition, so that'll be interesting. But I do want to bring it back. We'll debrief that at the end of the season, have a chat, and see how can we work it, because I just love being on the tee when a bunch of guys are all there and chewing the fat after the games and having that social element.
Well said.
Righto, Maxi's missile will finish with, and this is going to go to Billy Johnson. For a young man, I mean, you've played sport, and when you play sport, and when it's bad enough to make yourself unavailable before a game, and remember in my day, if you're unavailable for a wedding, if you're unavailable for anything, it was considered pretty soft. But to actually cross the line and be physically playing a competition and to walk off the course like young Billy Johnson did with 2 holes to play, leaving his partner stranded. There was no death in the family. There was no car crash. There was no emergency that had erupted here. There was no wedding that he had to be best man at. He had to go to his girlfriend's friend's housewarming party. And that was the excuse that took young Billy Johnson off the course. And for mine, it's just simply not good enough. That is not an excuse that's worthy of a competition of this standard. If you keep that stuff up, Billy Johnson, you may as well hand your balls in every time you walk out the door from now on, because that's what the life will be ahead of you. I'm going to be introducing a rule that's called the Billy J rule, and it's the date night rule. From next season, anyone who cannot play or walks off the course because they've got a prior commitment with a partner will have a fine up to $50. Had that fine been available to me at this point in time, Billy, I'd have insisted the MRA impose the maximum $50 penalty. It's not good enough. Lift your game. Your final's bound, but you've got to be committed. And that's all for the Super Summer Series, and we look forward to seeing you on the next edition.